Hello, Gay.
Hello, Lilou.
Good to have you. Good to do another coaching session with you. We're at our coaching session 4. And I just want to remind everybody that is watching this that you're the author of many, many books, but including these that I've enjoyed very much, the Big Leap. And we're right now doing actually the Big Leap series and putting all of these principles and practices and the 5 wishes. I love this one particularly. So what do we do? Where do we take it from here?
Well, at this session is a good time to do a short review of some of the key concepts we've talked about so far. If people are just joining us on the series, that will give them an opportunity to understand what it is we're doing here. Yeah. So, taking a big leap is really about 2 different things. And in fact, the book, The Big Leap, is really about 2 big things that are both huge things that every human being needs to master. Number 1 is how to transcend the upper limit problem. The upper limit problem is the tendency for us to set our thermostat too low of how much love and success and positive energy we allow to flow through us. And we've talked about in these sessions about the different ways we limit ourselves, primarily through fears that we take on at an early age. And then by the time we get to be grown-ups, we don't realize that those fears are running our life because they've been in the background for so long. It's kind of like a fish swimming in water. You know, you ask a fish, what is water? They say, I don't know, because they're swimming in it. And there was a famous study some years ago that Deepak Chopra told me about, where they raised fish in a little aquarium that had a plexiglass shield across half of it. So the fish could only be in one part of the aquarium. When they tried to swim over into the other part, they would bump their nose against this thing that they couldn't see, but it would bump up against them every time, even though it looked like there was plenty of water on the other side. And then eventually, after a while, the scientists removed the plexiglass shield, so there was no more actual upper limit on how far the fish could go, but the fish would come up to the place where the upper limit used to be and look over at the other water, but they wouldn't swim into it. Wow. Because that old upper limit had been in place for a long time. So what we want to do now is have everybody see where their plexiglass shield is so that they realize, wait a minute, that no longer affects me. That maybe was when I was a child, but now I've got this whole new world to swim in. So number 1 thing we're doing here is removing the upper limit problem so that you can go to your full level of abundance and love and positive energy in your life. Okay, so that's number 1. The number 2 thing we've been doing is to help you identify more what your zone of genius is. In the Big Leap, I say that everybody has got a zone of genius in them that remains largely untapped because we spend our time in 3 lower zones, like the zone of incompetence, where we're doing things we're not very good at, or the zone of competence, where we're doing things we're good at but somebody else could do just as well. And the 3rd zone is the zone of excellence, where we're doing things that we're really excellent at, but they don't represent us at our full level of evolution. You know, like you might be able to type 120 words a minute, but your zone of genius may also be writing children's books, you know, so it doesn't do any good to type in 120 words a minute unless you're opening up to what your true genius is. That way you can type about your zone of genius and, you know, do great things in the world. So I'm after helping people identify their zone of genius. And you've done a good job, I think, so far of really mapping out where you are in that. And now let's find out how to make it go the rest of the way.
Well, I feel like since the beginning of the session, I've been really applying all of these and writing, you know, from my left hand, right hand, that I'm celebrating my magnificence, that I'm living 50% of the time in the zone of genius. And I feel like I've been celebrating that more and more and like I'm faced with some fears that are coming up, some really things like in front of me, like, okay, I really have a trust issue. I have a trust issue and the fear of abandonment that always crawls in and comes back up. And I don't want to deal with this all my life, you know, because it's limiting me from living my full potential. And no matter how much I pretend it's not there, frankly, when it gets really good, it comes up big time. And it even makes me paranoid, you know, as to what other beings, and I feel like I'm going to be betrayed at some point. So I'm very, very extremely protective. And that's what I've learned how to achieve a lot on my own. I can multitask. I can work hours and hours. I can, you know, work from a distance with people. And as long as it's not too close, too intimate, I deal really well with it, and I can have team. But as soon as it's partnership, intimate relationship, it's clearly the fear of abandonment that I always see, and I would make sure, you know, I'm the first one that leaves before I get there. But the trust, I feel like if I would trust, you know, more, things would open up tremendously. And I'm really tired of this. I mean, I really am to the point where this is enough. Because sometimes I'm finding myself in a scenario where I see afterwards, like, I made all this up. I mean, there was no reason to worry. And then maybe I attract people in my life that I have to worry about, that makes me right, that I'm right about this. So I really want to be able to shift this, because so that I can fully embark 100%, you know, further and have this team. Because right now I'm putting a big team together. So more than ever, this whole dream brings a lot of fears and pressure.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing in the way we want to bring up those fears so that you have a chance to look at them. And today I'd like to show you one of the advanced techniques that's not in the Big Leap book, but is designed specifically to deal with those kind of early fears of trust and abandonment. Okay?
Yeah.
So are you willing to do that? Are you willing to have that fear disappear?
Yes.
Okay. All important work begins with a commitment. So I always ask if you are willing to have that happen, if you would be committed to being free of that fear so that you can expand beyond it.
I am fully committed to let go of that fear so I can expand.
Wonderful. Well, take a minute or two to tell me about where you think that trust and abandonment stuff came from in your life. What really happened that put that in your body?
The fact, I mean, the fact that my parents divorced is one of them.
And when was that?
When I was 11.
When you were 11. And so take a moment right now to just feel how you're still carrying that in your body here years later. And can you scan your body and feel where you carry those old fears from that time of your life?
You see, I'm making myself wrong right there because I've worked so much on this and it's still there. So I'm like, how can I still even be talking about this and deal with this?
Well, it's because evolution works like a spiral, that you, in the spiral up into greater levels and levels of success, you pass by the same issue over and over again. So as you come by it one time when you're 14 years old, and then you come by it again when you're 20 years old, and then you come by it again when you're 30 years old, and you come by it again when you're 40 years old. So I would say that the important thing is to be willing all the time to go to the ultimate level of it where you're free from it.
Yeah.
But I understand the despair about that you've worked on this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But abandonment, it's interesting because when you said that, I immediately jump into, I definitely felt abandoned at my parents' divorce for sure. But then I remember just an earlier time when we moved from Arizona to France, and I felt like I was abandoning my life then. and abandoning myself or abandoning something. So that might be an even earlier time right there. Or even when I was 3 years old, I was on the beach in Portugal with my parents, and they found me, they lost me, so I was there on the beach but on my own. So there's been many instances where I really found myself alone, and when I needed the most, just nobody was there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you tune into that, can you feel that abandonment and betrayal and not trusting them?
Well, it's like my heart beats fast, and it's yeah. And so it's just and then I'm wondering where it's gonna come from. I'm just like watching, observing it to come like a big monster out of a closet.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and so you have a whole number of experiences there from the time you were 3 and the time you were 11 and other times where you feel the grip of that old fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
And now turn that around, Lilou. How do you abandon yourself in your life?
I would dismiss sometimes or things, or abandon myself from living greater things, from not wanting to be closer to people because I'm fearful of it. So I would abandon myself from living that love, that connection,
yes,
that intimacy. So
yeah, and so you took that experience and you now created ways of abandoning yourself before you even get to the starting gate, so to speak. Yeah. So take a moment and just appreciate that you're already a genius of manifestation because you've been able to create that sense of abandonment over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So that means if you can manifest that sort of thing over and over again, you're already a genius of manifestation. Now we just need to hook that genius to manifesting what you really want.
Yeah. I really have some resistance, though.
Yeah. And tell me about that.
I wish I could just be there, but I every time there's a person I really loved or, really loved, either they died or they left. So
So that's a genius of manifestation, is to make that kind of thing happen over and over again. It's just unconscious manifestation.
Right.
Yeah, so the way I look at it is until you get your conscious goals really established, your unconscious goals for manifestation will run the show. Like an unconscious commitment to pushing people away, or an unconscious commitment to abandoning yourself and what you really want. So take a moment and love all of that. Just love it the way it is. Love yourself for having that old abandonment script. The power of love is such that you can even love the unlovable in yourself. Is there someone in your life that you know for sure you love?
Yeah.
Who?
My mom.
Okay, so just take a moment and love yourself the way you love your mom. Just loving yourself just the way you love her, because you're already good at loving her. Now I want you to get good at loving yourself. That's the beauty of love. It can get into all the little unlovable places in you. So just go ahead and take a few breaths of loving yourself. Begin to open the door to that sense of loving you for who you are.
I've made great progress in that area. There's part of me is just,
Yeah. So when you do that, when you go to do that, you feel a bunch of resistance come up.
Yeah.
And love that resistance. Just go ahead and love that resistance as much as you can. The only thing that's ever required is to love as much as you can from wherever you are. And just loving that aspect of yourself. Now here's where I want to use one of the advanced techniques. This takes you into an even deeper level of how to move into the big leap. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of that whole situation with your parents, their divorce, when you were 11, being lost on the beach when you were 3. Okay?
Yeah.
And point with one of your arms, point with one of your fingers in the direction of where your parents are today. Somebody's ringing my doorbell.
I love it. That's
Somebody else will get it.
Ding.
I pointed out there and somebody rang the doorbell. Boy, am I a powerful manifester. So just point to, are your parents still alive?
Yes.
Okay, so just point in the general direction. This is point toward parents, okay? Okay, and say, that was then.
That was then.
Now touch yourself with your hand. Bring your hand back in here, that pointing hand, and say, this is now.
This is now.
Okay, this is now.
This is now.
That was then. Point again.
That was then.
That was then.
That was then.
This is now.
This is now.
This is now. Feel now. Now.
Now.
Right this moment. Okay, now point again. Point to where that beach was when you're 3 years old. Point in the general direction of that beach that you got lost on. That was then.
That was then.
This is now.
This is now.
This is now.
This is now.
Okay. That was then.
That was then.
This is now.
This is now.
This is now.
Yeah, this is now.
Feel the nowness of it. Right now. Can you feel the difference between now and then?
Yeah. Now
Okay.
it's very light.
Very light. Good. This is the real you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a moment to give a drop of love. Put a drop of love on the real you. We always say, just add a homeopathic drop of love. Bing!
Bing.
That's all you need to do, and let it disseminate through you. Yeah. This is now.
This is now.
This is now. In the now, everything is possible.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. Back then, the only thing that was possible was abandonment and fear. Now, everything is possible.
Like, I really get that in this moment.
Good. That's the only moment there is. But what I think I hear is that you're afraid of slipping back into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very natural thing to do. So let's, instead of unconsciously slip into it, let's go ahead and consciously slip into it. Take on that old abandonment again. Just kind of bring it in. Welcome it back into yourself. I notice you wrinkle up your nose. Go ahead and wrinkle up your nose at it, but welcome it back in. Consciously, welcome it back into you. This idea of embracing it with love, embracing your whole past with love. See, the moment you do that, it loses its grip on you.
It does.
Yeah, it's a magical thing.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I tell you, during the time of my life, I was probably around your age. I've never asked you how old you are, but you look like you might be around 30 or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
33.
Okay. Yeah. When I was in my 30s, I probably did that 10,000 times. I would catch myself right in the midst of running one of my old programs, like abandonment or pushing people away, and then I would remember to love it, and I would welcome it into myself in love. And then after a little while, it quit bothering me. It quit even showing up because...
Really?
I think it's like... we don't have kids at home anymore. They're grown up, but... So I use my cat, for example, as an example. We have this lovely little cat named Lucy. And the other day we switched the furniture all around in the house. And it really shook up Lucy because she was used to taking her nap on a particular chair that was in the living room, but then we moved the chair back into my office. And so she was completely just like you were at 11 years old. You didn't know where you were going to be and who you were going to be with and what your world was going to be like. And Lucy, for a day or two, just needed a lot of love, and I would pick her up and I would give her some love and I would take her into where her favorite chair was. And I'd say, see, it's here now, but it's the same chair. And pretty soon I came in and she was taking a nap on it, even though it was in a different place. So I want you to give yourself that experience of loving all of that abandonment and trust stuff in you. I welcome that into myself in love. Just try out that idea. I welcome all my old abandonment stuff in love. I embrace it with love. I embrace my abandonment with love. Put your body with it.
I think I'm attached to it.
I know you are. We all are.
I am. It keeps on coming up. Whoa! Makes me angry.
Good. Then embrace it right now. Just reach out and embrace it and welcome it into yourself with love. See, it only can attach to the fear. Only the fear can keep it glued to you. But if you love it, that dissolves the glue. I welcome my abandonment in love. I embrace my abandonment with love. Say it out loud.
I embrace my abandonment with love.
Good. And reach out in abandonment. So get your whole body involved, your body and your breathing. You cannot think your way out of this situation. You have to use your whole being. See, our work is about using your whole being, not just the part of your brain that's logical is only about the size of a small coin like this. But the rest of you needs to be brought into it. So use your breathing. I embrace my abandonment with love. Say that out loud. Use your breathing.
I embrace my abandonment with love.
Yes, that's right. That's how you make changes in your whole being. You use your whole being.
Embrace my abandonment with love. God, I never
Right.
gave love to it.
I know. So right now, this moment, put your hands right here and let's just give love to that old place that hurt so much when you were 11 and hurt so much when you were 3. Just love that part. Breathe with it. That's it. Just breathe with it. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and move back a little bit so you can stand up. I want to see you use your whole being with it, even standing up. Go ahead and stand up and breathe and move with it, even if you move off camera a little bit. I'd like you to move and breathe with it.
I can stand up. It would be just stand up.
Yeah, just stand up and take a few breaths with it like that.
I'm going to be totally out of the screen.
Yeah, that's good. Just go ahead and stand up and move. That's it. Good, good. That's it. Move off and then come back into the camera with it. Yeah, that's it. Good. Moving. I want to get your whole body involved. Good. That's it. Great.
I'm embarrassed now.
Yeah, so love that embarrassment. Yeah. Well, the reason people come here to work with us is because we show them how to use the resources of their whole being, not just their mind, but their whole consciousness, their body, their emotions, their whole way of being. You need to get all of yourself involved in these transformations. You know, it's like I read this thing that Woody Allen, the comedian, has been going to the same therapist for close to 40 years every day for an hour and talking about his issues. But it doesn't look like it's doing him much good just to talk about them. Mm-hmm. You know, you need to get your whole being involved in transformation, not just that little tiny part of your brain that's involved with language and logic. Not just this part of your body, but your whole being.
But my being is a shame, and I don't know, I'm sad because there's just so much emotion, you know. I given up on all of that. I mean, yeah. As much as, it's just, I can't even express it or want to.
Yes.
But it's just...
So right now, let's just take a moment and love that. Embrace it in love instead of trying to express it or explain it. Just take a moment to love it.
It's getting really painful now. I just hearing one more time that word love, I think I'm going to explode.
Good. That's good. You'll be the first person, my first client to explode on camera.
Oh.
Notice, though, that the more you resist doing it, the more it hurts.
Yeah, I guess I'm attached to that pain.
Yes, you are. You're attached to the pain. So take a moment and just love yourself for being so attached to that pain. I want you to love your attachment to that pain instead of hating it. Good. Notice what I'm doing. I'm showing you what to do. Good. And love all of that old stuff. The attachment to the pain. Shame just needs to be loved. It's just like a dog barking out in your backyard. Instead of throwing rocks at it, let's try loving it. You've been throwing rocks at this stuff in yourself for 20 years. Now love it. And if loving it completely is 100%, what percent would you think you love it right now? How much can you love it right now?
10.
10%?
5, 10, yeah.
5, 10? Okay, so just love. That's all you need to do is just put a little homeopathic drop of love on it. 5% or 10% will do just fine. That's plenty to get started.
I wonder how much I can love it.
Yes, I was just thinking that sentence in my mind. That's very good that you picked up on it. That's very psychic of you to pick up on that. I wonder how much Lilou can love that in herself. Oh, yeah, that's great.
I
wonder how much I can love it. Now, I'd like to suggest, too, that everybody that's watching this, whether you're watching it right now and this year or 10 years from now, I'd like everybody to open up that wondering, how much can I love myself from wherever I am?
How much of myself, I wonder how much of myself can I love wherever I'm at?
Right now, right this moment. Yeah. Feel the places where that old fear is attached to your body. Can you feel them right now in your body somewhere? Yeah, right here. So let's just take a moment to let the love penetrate that area. The first time I discovered this, this was in 1974. And I can remember the spot I was standing under a tree in Colorado out in the woods. I was walking around just by myself, and I was thinking about, why is it that I keep sabotaging relationships? And why is it that I keep messing things up when they're going good? And then I realized, it's because I have this old fear that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy. Somewhere I took on this idea that I was damaged or I had a flaw in me. And then I asked the question just to the universe, well, what can be done about that? And the answer came right back. The only thing you need to do is love it, just the way it is. And so I started loving that place in myself. And I wrote about this in my book, Learning to Love Yourself. I kind of walked around out in the woods for probably the better part of an hour, just letting myself love all of those unlovable parts in me that I'd never found in me before, but they were hidden under all of these dark places in me. And as I did that, I got this incredible sense of well-being and liberation that's really been there ever since. So I really recommend that you play with this idea of loving the unlovable in yourself, finding those unlovable places and really loving them.
Well, it's good to hear somebody that did it, because it seems impossible, I think, when we're in it. We think like this is how it's supposed to be the rest of our lives, because there's many attempts. I think all of us tried many times. I tried many times, I guess, to fix it or to deny it or to push it or to bring it.
Yeah.
But I can see by loving that aspect. I never thought of loving that abandonment or loving those not those less sparkling side, the shadow side,
Yes. I understand.
Thank you for
this is the time to do that. Well, I want you to, between now and next time we talk, I'd like you to look for as many opportunities as you can to just touch in and love those old aspects of yourself. This is now.
Yeah,
this is now. This is now.
This is now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Until next time.
I get it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kay.